Trouble is brewing in America's coffee houses as tariffs add to the already rising cost of beans. Families in a Rapid City neighborhood find themselves at odds with City Hall, and it could get expensive. In a clash over a Black Hills drilling project unites Native Americans and environmentalists. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. Protesters in Rapid City have demonstrated against two proposed drilling projects on and near sacred Native American sites. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley has the story.
Protesters stood on Omaha and waved their signs as some cars honked driving by. The protests, organized by Indivisible Rapid City, took aim at two proposed drilling sites, one in ceremonial grasslands known as Peshla in the central Black Hills, and one at Craven Canyon in the southern Black Hills. Organizer Nicole Preble says Craven Canyon is a culturally significant site.
There are rock drawings down there that are about 7,000 years old.
Preble also raised flags about possible water contamination on the proposed graphite exploration site at Peshla. Sophia Blackcloud from the Standing Rock Reservation was among those who attended the protest. She shared her concerns about drilling, including effects to water and wildlife.
This is really important to me and my family and our community. I've been fighting this fight for years, uranium, all of it, so I just can't see them continuing to drill, especially in our sacred sites.
NDN Collective's Taylor Gunhammer, while not at the protest, highlighted the range of opposition against the project near Peshla.
It's not just Indian Collective, it's not just Indigenous people. Everyone is angry and outraged about this project across all backgrounds in the Black Hills, because frankly this project is stupid, unnecessary, and racist.
Gunhammer also said he's concerned about damage to petroglyphs from the vibration of drilling in the southern Black Hills.
You destroy this ancient piece of history, you rob yourself of a richer human experience, and you rob the entire world. There are some things worth more than uranium.
Reclamation plans for the drilling site in the central Black Hills say the company will restore the areas affected to the original condition to the extent possible. The site in the southern Black Hills plans to restore the lands to a grazing habitat. In Rapid City, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
After seeing thunderstorms late last night, we're still dealing with showers across the area. Meteorologist Ryan Larmew is in the First Alert Weather Center with the latest look at the radar. Ryan, I got to say, I kind of found the thunder a little bit soothing last night.
A lot of people found it soothing and a lot of people woke up. It was some loud thunder ringing through Rapid City last night. We're dealing with some thunderstorms on First Alert Doppler radar this evening. Plenty of it and some training thunderstorms there on the South Dakota plains. Let's zoom into those. Areas like North Eagle Butte, Faith, Isabel, Dakota, all seeing those training thunderstorms could be posing a flash flood threat if these continue over the course of the next couple of hours. We will keep monitor of these storms as we head throughout the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. Temperatures are cooled, rain cooled there on the South Dakota plains. Look at Faith there at 56, Shade Hills at 55, Phillips at 58. Spearfish, though, not rain cooled, just cool in general. 57 in town there in Spearfish. But Rapid City, we're also sitting at the 57-degree mark with these temperatures expected to keep on cooling. And good news, if you like the cooler weather, we are cooling down within the First Alert forecast, and we're staying breezy and even windy. Winter conditions start tomorrow, and we have wind alerts up for a majority of the area. I'll be planning out who's under those wind alerts and how cool we actually get in the First Alert forecast. That's coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. Rapid City homeowners are fighting back after city officials determined that their backyard sheds and gardens are on public property and need to move. KOTA Territory's Brad Walton stopped by Copperfield Drive to investigate the dispute, and he tells us what happened and what's next for the neighborhood.
Homes on Copperfield Drive in Rapid City haven't changed much since their construction in the late 80s.
Everything that's been established here, raised gardens, trees, fence line, it's been here for 37, 40 years.
Last month, Rapid City surveyors determined some of these structures were built on a publicly owned drainage easement, creating potentially hazardous conditions in the event of a flood.
We've had this happen where we didn't get to obstructions and the water backs up, and those upstream of it then have their basements flooding.
City officials installed new property boundary markers to the surprise of Copperfield Drive homeowners.
I see two guys hanging over my gate and two men in my yard, so 4 people, men, and they said, oh, we're with code enforcement, and This is our land.
Many residents spent the past few years creating walking trails and maintaining grounds within the drainage easement.
We clean up the garbage. We clean up the deadfall, the branches that fall off the trees in the ditch. We take care of all of this out here. 5 of us own riding lawnmowers just to maintain the grounds.
Cooper says she has spent almost $4,000 moving her sheds and gardens closer to her house to comply with mandates from Rapid City's Code Enforcement Division, with about half of that total spent on cutting down her favorite tree.
I had to cut down a 30-year-old silver maple, probably the only healthy silver maple in all of Rapid Valley.
Fisher says she's offering residents help from city employees.
If they needed assistance moving the encroachment, we would offer that too. Something we've not yet done in the past, but we realized that several of these encroachments had been there for years.
Disagreement remains regarding property lines, how city officials handled the situation, and whether structures on the easement create hazardous conditions.
If we have our 50-year flood, our 100-year flood, just doing what they're doing is not solving the problem.
For now, city officials will reevaluate the situation.
We all agree that we need to push the pause button for about 30 days at a minimum.
Reporting from Copperfield Drive, Brad Walton, KOTA Territory News.
With the Black Hills being susceptible to wildfires, Rapid City Legal and Finance Committee wants to ensure the town's risk of experiencing a catastrophic wildfire is reduced. Today, the committee recommended to authorize the full council to accept and sign a grant agreement for the Western States Fire Management Wildlands Urban Interface Grants. That's more than $630,000 in grant money that would help the Rapid City Fire Department address the risk of wildfires in town by assisting mitigation activities. The goal is to lower the risk of a catastrophic wildfire occurring and the negative impacts it can have on infrastructure, life, and property.
The grant program provides the basically $300,000, and the city matches that with the value of our equipment and the time that we're putting in at the wildfire program already.
The grants would cover the costs on 460 acres of prescribed burns that are in the Wildland Urban Interface. In addition, through the funding, the fire department will target several priority locations, including Vicky Powers Park, the Skyline Wilderness Area, and Lions Park near Canyon Lake. And the Rapid City Legal and Finance Committee had plenty on their plate today, as they also recommended to authorize the mayor and finance officer to sign an amendment to the lease and management agreement for the Journey Museum. In addition, the committee is recommending to authorize the mayor and finance officer to terminate the previous memorandum of understanding between the city and the Museum Alliance of Rapid City Incorporated. The city currently has a lease agreement with the Museum Alliance to operate and manage the Journey Museum. The last lease was approved in 2012, which runs through 2032. In the past year, the Black Hills Historical Society and the Museum Alliance have talked about merging and feel that a merger is in the best interest of both organizations. The executive director of the Journey Museum said they're updating the Alliance board structure as well as the number of mayoral appointees that will be on the board.
We've been working with the city attorney on that process, and the city attorney requested that we combine those two documents into a single one. So that is why this amendment will terminate our existing MOU from 2012 and fold all the aspects of that MOU into our lease and management agreement going forward. So we'll just have a single agreement.
McMahon said the city has agreed to reduce the representatives on the board from 5 to 1, with the sole member being a liaison. Later on your news leader, a local eatery is expanding again, and you don't have to be a bean counter to know the cost of a cup of Java is getting expensive. KOTA Territory coffee shops and their customers are getting hit with a double whammy. Arzada Jones explains that a compilation of bad weather and President Donald Trump's tariffs play a role.
Coffee is a staple around 220 million Americans' morning routines. However, America's habits might have to change.
13 years of roasting. This has been the craziest time ever.
According to the National Coffee Association, 99% of coffee Americans drink is imported from countries targeted by the Trump administration's tariffs.
If you took every bean in Hawaii and brought it just to the mainland U.S., it would be 4% of our national consumption. So 96% of the coffee has to come from somewhere else, and we cannot grow it here. So this is not a situation where if we put tariffs on, they're going to start producing it here. It's not a possibility.
Government data shows the retail price of ground coffee hit an all-time high of $7.50 a pound last month. While some people are quick to lay all the blame on tariffs, Reed says high coffee prices are nothing new.
Coffee prices have been, they've gone up about 115% in the last 9 months, and a lot of that was from weather-related things. Brazil then announced they were having a bumper crop this year. Prices began to come down, and then the tariffs were announced. And so it was just at the point where we thought we were going to start getting things back to normal. It all went up again, and completely related to that.
Reed said he's trying his best to balance all the added costs.
We've raised our prices a little bit, and we have just lowered our margin as well. And so it's been hard all the way around. I mean, on both sides, both for us and for the consumers, because I can't simply foist it all on my customers.
With no clear end in sight, Reed and other local roasters are left to weather the uncertainty. Reporting in Rapid City, I'm Zeta Jones.
A Rapid City deli and eatery is getting ready to open another set of doors. The Bashful Bison South Dakota Market opened 4 years ago near Main Street Square in Rapid City. Last year, they moved to share a building with Hay Camp Brewery and have been growing since. To keep up with that growth, they're opening a second location in the Timmins Market location in Rapid Valley. The Bashful Bison's production kitchen will move to the location to handle their catering and bakery operations. A retail sandwich shop will be open at the location, and Bashful Bison owner Scott Brinker says expanding was always a part of the long-term plan.
You know, we've got so much support, so many people behind us, so much help going on that it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to get opened up over there.
Brinker added the bakery and production kitchen will be ready in the next 2 weeks, and he's hoping to have the retail shop ready by May 27th. Meteorologist Ryan Larmew says that rain showers continue in the forecast. He plans out what we can expect for the rest of the week and the weekend next in your accurate First Alert forecast.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Larmew.
We have plenty of activity here on First Alert Doppler radar this evening. Plenty of thunderstorms out on the South Dakota plains. As you can see right here, we're tracking those thunderstorms and they're kind of training over the same areas consistently. Let's zoom into some of those areas right now. We're talking about heavy rain in places like Faith, Isabel, just to the north of Philip, seeing some very heavy rain, plenty of lightning and hearing plenty of thunder out there. And like I said, this is all training. We have more activity to the south that's forming over Martin, Wanblee, Kadoka, areas like that could be seeing these training thunderstorms continue over the next couple of hours. We need to monitor this area because this could cause some flash flooding concerns on the South Dakota plains. It's been so dry these past 6 months that any rain, heavy rain like this that falls in a very short period of time could cause some of that flooding around that area. But overnight tonight, we are going to be seeing the possibility of some rain showers, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder here in Rapid City as that rain gradually moves off towards the west, closer and closer to the Black Hills. Temperatures in the 50s right before sunset, upper 50s, and then we're in the mid 50s after the sun sets. But look at this, breezy conditions start to take over by 9 and 10 o'clock. That means gusts over 30 miles an hour are possible. And as we head throughout the morning hours tomorrow, those gusts are even higher. Gusts over 50 miles an hour are possible as you're heading out the door. So as you're heading out, make sure to hold on to the hats and do your last minute checks on any lawn furniture that you may have outside. That could be blown away with these very windy and gusty conditions. 48 degrees to start off your morning. We're in the 50s by 8 and 9 o'clock, a little cooler than what we've been dealing with for the first half of the week. But as we head into the day tomorrow, we're seeing a high temperature of 62. That's a little bit below average for this time of year. It'll be windy, wind gusts up to 50 and even over 50 miles an hour in some locations. Will be cloudy throughout the day, and a few scattered to isolated showers are possible as a few of those showers linger across the area. There's a high wind watch. This is that dark orange color here for us. That is in effect from 6 a.m. tomorrow until 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. Now, this area could be seeing wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour. That's some dangerous winds there for us here. We might be issuing that first alert weather day if that wind increases to around the 70 mile per hour range. So wind gusts going to be high tomorrow. Let's talk about it a little more in detail. 6 a.m. We're already talking about those gusts over 40 miles an hour in many places, including Rapid City. So it's going to be a windy morning tomorrow. It only gets worse throughout the afternoon. You see lots of white there pop up on the map. 5 p.m. we're talking about winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour, maybe even exceeding 60 miles an hour in some areas. But by the time we're getting to Friday, we're still talking about the windy conditions. It's going to stay windy through Friday afternoon, and by the evening hours, things start to slowly and gradually calm down. Futurecast is showing that we're talking about showers and storms overnight tonight, and those could linger into the day tomorrow. But by the time we're heading into the first half of the weekend, we're talking about maybe a couple of showers hanging around, but not too much to worry about for your Saturday, as tonight temperatures are in the 30s and 40s with a few breezy conditions. Tomorrow we're windy with 50s and 60s. The next 3 days talking about rain showers almost every day, but Saturday as temperatures warm up just a little bit. We're in the 50s for Sunday and Monday, as that is our best rain chance. Looking to be cloudy and rainy for those 2 days.
Hold on to the hats.
Hold on to the hats. You're going to need to.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. Well, coming up, the Sturgis softball team looks to build off a nice winning streak. Plus, we take an inside look at what it takes to have success in the long jump and triple jump. Vic Quick joins us next with KOTA Sports.
Good evening, everybody. Douglas's Emily Von Eye signed on the dotted line today to continue her cheerleading career at Northern State. Von Eye was a big part of the cheer team with the Patriots and will now look to do the same with the Wolves. Congrats to Emily. We're heading down the home stretch of the high school track and field season. Tomorrow, area Class B teams will meet up in Lemon for the Little Moreau Conference meet. Now, we have some talented long jumpers and triple jumpers around KOTA territory. Earlier this season, Custer's Kincaid Lehman set the state record in the triple jump with a leap of 48 feet 7 1/4 inches. The long jump and triple jump may look very similar, but there are some key differences. And while you need some athletic ability to be a good jumper, the technique is just as important.
Long jump, it seems like it's pretty simple. You just run and jump, but it's pretty technical as far as technique goes. But the kids that are able to maintain full speed the best and still get some vertical lift on their takeoff are the ones that seem to find a lot of success. For triple jump, it's a lot of the same as long jump. You need to have that speed and that jumping ability. A lot of our triple jumpers, the ones that find a lot of success, are usually very strong in their lower half of their body and have a good core strength so that they can stabilize their landings on their jumps.
The Stevens softball team picked up another impressive win last night, rolling past Spearfish 20-2. The Raiders hit 7 home runs en route to securing the victory. Stevens is now a perfect 10-0 on the season and will head east for 4 big games against Harrisburg, T, Lincoln, and Jefferson tomorrow and Friday. The Sturgis softball team may be finding its stride at just the right time. The Scoopers have won 3 in a row to even up their record at 7-7 on the season after blasting Watertown 12-2 last Friday. Sturgis kept things rolling on Saturday, winning a tight game over Mitchell 5-4 and getting past Yankton 10-6. Now the Scoopers have this week off. They will return to the Diamond next Thursday when they host Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Washington. Sturgis then closes out the regular season next Friday when it entertains O'Gorman and Brandon Valley. 3 Shadron State athletes have qualified for next week's Division II National Track and Field meet. Sophomore Chayton Bynes will represent the Eagles in the triple jump. True freshman Trace Hanschlet qualified in the javelin. Senior Nickwain Henry will run the 400 meters. All 3 athletes have set Shadron State school records with their qualifying marks. The D2 National meet is next Thursday through Saturday in Pueblo, Colorado. And of course, South Dakota Mines and Black Hill State also each sending an athlete to the D2 National Track and Field meet. Exciting stuff.
So how'd the Twins do today, Vic?
The Twins have been red hot. Now, they got rained out yesterday. That was about the only thing that could slow them down today. They played a doubleheader against the Orioles, and they keep it rolling, sweeping the doubleheader today, winning by the scores of 13-6 and 8-6. So the Twins have now won 10 in a row, red hot.
All right, the other Minnesota team having a big night tonight. Big game for the T-Wolves.
That's right. Timberwolves can move on to the Western Conference Finals for the 2nd straight season tonight. They're up on the Warriors 3-1, Game 5 tonight. T-Wolves and Golden State.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. And Ryan's back with a final look at your weather after the break.
Be sure to tune into KOTA Territory News at 6 on Fox, why Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was getting grilled on Capitol Hill following high-profile ICE arrest. Plus, all 4 of our Rising Star of the West Scholarship winners claimed their prizes for this year's contest. We'll have that and much more tonight at 6 on Fox.
You know, Ryan, we talked about drought conditions lately, so this forecast is good news for that.
Oh, it's fantastic news for that. We need about 5 inches of rain or rain equivalent. Not all at once. No. But we need 5 inches of rain over the next month and a half to completely eliminate the drought in Rapid City. That includes the abnormally dry category, but we're getting some rain across KOTA Territory right now, which is some good news. This is a live look at First Alert Doppler radar. Some training rain there on the South Dakota plains, mainly in central South Dakota where the heaviest stuff is falling. Pierre likely going to be seeing some rainfall from the next hour or so. We're talking about that heavy rain in places like Isabel, Faith, North Eagle Butte, Phillip, Kadoka, all those places, and we have more development off towards the south of I-90, places like Martin, Kadoka, seeing those rain showers right now, and it's all beneficial.
All right. Enjoyed the thunderstorm again last night?
I did too.
All right. That'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. See you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.